Respected Shekhar Cheregaonkar ji, Dr. S.K. Sharma ji, Chandrakant Dalvi ji, Commissioner, Dr. A.S. Rama Shastri, Mr. Ravi Gupta, dear delegates, it gives me a great pleasure to be amongst you on Maharashtra Cooperative Summit. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has given a lot of importance to cooperative sector, and that is the reason that there is a separate committee on cooperatives for last 5 years. We also have a separate course, certificate course on cooperatives, which chartered accountants undertakes to get specialized in cooperative sector. We at Institute firmly believe that cooperative is one entity which is of the people, for the people and by the people. We talk about financial inclusion, Jan Dhan Yojana. I think cooperative is one kind of entity which can bring financial inclusion where people is at a prime focus rather than capital. Now my suggestion, the institute suggestions, yesterday only I had a meeting with Dr. S.K. Sharma ji, Principal Secretary, and earlier also we have interacted at various forums with commissioners and ministers. What we suggest is we bring digitalization as early as possible so that we can facilitate functioning of cooperatives. This is one of our suggestions. Secondly, in 97th Amendment we have made accounting standards and auditing standards mandatory for each cooperative society. And we have been working on this, bringing this knowledge among cooperative sector, how cooperative sector can be managed in a better manner by having a proper accounting in place. I don't know. Now Maharashtra, among all states in our country, has been a leader in cooperative sector, having more than 25% plus cooperative societies in Maharashtra. And when we interact with other state cooperative ministries, secretaries, commissioners, the topic comes again and again, and they follow many of principles and system evolved by Maharashtra state. So that puts additional responsibility on this state that we bring our system in place. I feel this, our Act, Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1961, having passed more than 55 years, need a relook. We can make it more simple, maybe society specific. So each society, when they want to have a compliance, they can refer a relevant portion of the Act. Few other suggestions which I would like to give is that we should make the functioning of a cooperative society very easy. Because the whole purpose of this sector, this type of business entity is that people should come together. So in every sector there are individuals who misuse the system. Say for example in cooperative credit society, when banking license is difficult, we see that in cooperative credit society there may be few people who may be misusing, but larger role of a cooperative society is that this kind of entity is a facilitator for the common man. So the formation of cooperative credit society can be made easier. Then we can have online registration. This is connected with the digitalization of the whole process. And that will also bring simplicity, and when we have a dynamic commissioner who talks about zero pendency and zero disposal pending, I think we can have this in place at the earliest. And the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India can fully back up this process. Even if the investment is required or maintenance is required, we are all out to help the cooperative sector, because we feel that cooperative sector is a very, very important sector. You know, when I visited 3/4 of the globe, and what other developed countries, there the equality in the income, you know, recently World Economic Forum also, the India is very low level, and therefore, you know, our dynamic Prime Minister, he is giving a lot of importance to social infrastructure. Once we are able to bring the level of income of the lowest rung in the economy to a reasonable level, the growth of the economy will be very fast. So the industrialist may be, you know, currently feeling that no policies are in place. In Maharashtra also we are doing that. But once social infrastructure is in place, then automatically we will see that growth on the economy will happen faster. Similarly, you know, in the panel which I suggested, we have about 9,000 plus paneled auditors, and few of them, you know, majority 7,000 plus out of them are GDCA and retired officers. We feel with more professionalism and accounting standards mandatory, auditing standards mandatory, I think we need to have a relook at this, how we can see that we have only professional auditors who audit each cooperative society. And then perhaps other things will fall in place. Similarly, you know, the appointment of administrator for unaided society is not permitted. We feel that that can be done. Another area which can be brought in the Act is arbitration mechanism. You know, there is a bill pending in Parliament recently introduced where arbitration is to be made e-arbitration, and it is to be completed within 1 year. So the litigation will get reduced. It is there, this provision is there in multi-state cooperative societies, but in our Act, we do not have arbitration mandatory, that before somebody goes to a court, they have to first resort to an arbitration mechanism, and then only they can go to the court. Maharashtra and at, you know, global level, the cooperative sector plays a very important role. The contribution in the economy at Maharashtra level also about, you know, 50% economy, more than 20% of our population is engaged in the cooperative sector. So this summit will go a long way, and I would like to congratulate Department of Cooperation and elets for taking this lead, and we are happy to get associated with this, and we are all out to see that the cooperative sector grows in Maharashtra, and we set an example not only for our country but for the whole world, that how a cooperative sector can be governed in an effective manner.